Hey you guys! Today we're going to learn all about the muscular system. Yay! Smooth muscle is a type of muscle lacking the striations of skeletal and cardiac muscle because of the uniform distribution of myosin filaments in the cell. It's responsible for involuntary body activities, and it also lines the walls of hollow organs. And you don't have to think about it. So, like with the esophagus, whenever you eat, you're not like, oh, esophagus, push my food down, go, 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 you can do it, yay, esophagus, good job, buddy. No, you're not like that. You just eat it and it goes to the stomach. You don't have to think about it. It's awesome. But, the one special one that I learned, interesting fact number 1, 2, or 3, I don't care, like, interesting fact. Okay, the diaphragm is special because it's both involuntary and voluntary. Because normally, most of the time, whenever you are like just sitting down or running or whenever, you're breathing constantly. Like you don't have to think about it. You're just breathing and the diaphragm is going on. But also, whenever you can control it because you can tell yourself, oh, come on, I'm gonna do like 3 really fast breaths. Like, okay. You just controlled what your diaphragm does. So it's both voluntary and involuntary, which is very interesting, and I like that fact. So there you go, yay! Another type of muscle is cardiac muscle, which is also involuntary as it has excitatory muscle in it, which means it can contract all by itself, so you don't have to, like, if you want to think heart don't pump, like, it'll still pump because you can't control it. And so, yeah, that's pretty interesting, and it's striated, if that matters. And yeah, it's not really that important in this whole show. And so we're gonna now focus on the skeletal muscle, which is like the star, because we're gonna learn all about the muscular system. And so there is the skeletal muscle is voluntary and it's attached to the skeleton. So basically, this is the part where the skeleton and the muscles work together and all that good stuff. And we'll come back. So now I'm going to talk about the myosin-actin interactions when it comes to muscle contractions. And to begin, you can see the orange stuff on the picture is the actin, and the purple is the myosin. And that little bump right there is a myosin head, which is labeled. And the holes, or the olive holes, as Miss Spidner calls it, those are the myosin binding sites where troponin complexes can bind or like cover up so that the myosin head cannot bind there, and the tropomyosin is like the sheet that covers it around, that intertwines with the actin, and they work together to control the muscle fiber contraction. Here you can see the myosin head is bound to ATP and is in its low energy configuration, which means that it won't automatically go and bind to the actin or the myosin binding sites in the actin. This picture shows the myosin head hydrolyzing ATP to ADP and inorganic phosphate. So this means that it goes into its high energy configuration where it kind of props up its little head. Now that the myosin head has all that energy from the ATP, it's able to go up and bind to its site in the actin, allowing it to pull it and connect it together, forming a cross bridge. Once the myosin head interacts with the actin filament and it holds that binding spot, it releases the ADP and the inorganic phosphate, and then the myosin returns to its low energy configuration where it doesn't have anything on it. And when it moves, it's still connected to the actin, so it kind of moves the actin filament along with it. The actin filament moves towards the center of the sarcomere, and then after this is done, then it all moves together and the binding of a new molecule of ATP releases the myosin head from actin, and then a whole new cycle begins and it moves it even more. This picture does a good job of showing you how the sarcomeres get closer together when the muscle contracts.
She's blood, flesh and bone.
Here's just like a good picture showing you the components of a muscle.
She's touch, smells.
As you can see here, we start out with the muscle, which is then divided into bundles of single muscle fibers, which are then further divided into myofibrils, which are composed of repeating sarcomeres.
I know where I belong, and nothing's gonna happen, yeah.
Another interesting fact is that the biggest muscle in your whole body is your gluteus maximus, which is your bottom. And the smallest muscle in your whole entire body is your stapedius, which is in your ear. And it's smaller than a thread of cotton, which is really tiny. And when you think about it, like compared to a butt, like you have this big, well, it can be really big, and then you have like this really tiny little thread of this so wide ranging. The first function of the muscular system is to provide movement for the skeleton, because without the muscles, the skeleton wouldn't be able to move anywhere, because where would it get any help from? Like, it would just be a pile of bones. So, in order for us to move around, we need our muscles and the skeleton, and our skeleton, because they work hand in hand in providing us with structure and movement. Another function of the muscular system is to maintain posture and fight against gravity. For the first part of that, the posture, as you can see, I don't have the best of posture, as I usually sit with my back slouched, and when doing that, like, you're not using any muscle, like, you're just relaxed, and it's not doing your body any good. However, if I, like, straighten my back up and, contract my muscles to help my skeleton stand up straight, then I'm using my muscles and they're getting worked, which is good to maintain, healthy muscles and, possibly live longer, all that good stuff. So also, to fight against gravity. When I'm not using my muscles, they immediately fall against the ground because of gravity. However, muscles can work against gravity. As you can see, I can lift my arm up, and whenever I contract and work to pull my arm up, and if I just don't want it up, I can just let go and it falls straight down because of gravity. So muscles help us, work against gravity. The third function of the muscular system is to stabilize our joints. Of course, we have muscle tendons, and that enables us to throw a baseball really hard and not have our shoulder collapse on us. So again, they just provide extra strength to our body to make it more durable and allow us to give out more strength to survive. Another very important function of our muscular system is to generate body heat, because in our muscle cells there are tons of mitochondria, which of course produce ATP. Along with ATP, heat is produced, which is very important. It allows us to maintain our body temperature, and if it's too high, then we sweat, and if it's too low, then we shiver to make more of that ATP to move our muscles. So again, the muscular system is a crucial organ system of mammals. The hardest working muscles in the body are the muscles in the eye, as it's expected that they move over 100,000 times per day.